Hey guys, today I'm gonna actually go over the Innokin Sensis. Now, I've been vaping this for a while and I just wanted to essentially give you my thoughts on it. The technology behind the Sensis has already been explained over and over again by reviewers that have been testing this for a while now. So I'm gonna actually take a different approach with this. I'll talk a little bit about the functions and I'll talk a little bit about the technology behind it, but I pretty much just want to mostly show you, first off, how it vapes, and then I want to discuss my experiences with it, especially in refreshing coils. And I haven't really seen anybody talking about using the Coil Plus mode or the F0 mode on external tanks. I'm going to first off though start by going down, showing you what comes in the box and talking a little bit about this coil that I was able to refresh using the Sensis. Okay guys, so here I am down with the Innokin Sensis, and I just wanted to give you a device to show you the size so you can get a size comparison. It's not much larger than the Drag S, which I have here, right? Just a little bit bigger, a little bit taller, a little bit wider, a little bit thicker, okay? I don't know, I kind of expected this to be bigger than it actually was. With that said, let me just talk a little bit about it and I'll show you what comes in the box when you purchase it, right? So, when you open up the box, you're gonna get your Sensis device. It's gonna come with a pod pre-installed in it. And then when you open it up and you come into the rest of the box, you're gonna find that it has a 510 adapter, which I have right now on a Vupu pod tank. Okay. It's gonna come with two different coils. It's a 0.25 S coil. Has larger fill ports. And then it's gonna come with your 0.65 S coil, which if you have an Innokin Scepter device, you will essentially be familiar with that coil. So as you see, the juice ports on the 0.25 are much bigger, a little bit of a bigger diameter right there down the chimney. It's got mouthpieces, O-rings. It comes with a mouth to lung mouthpiece. These little adapters that you screw the coils into before you place them in the tank. Okay, must be on the wrong side here. It's kind of hard to do this at times when you're got a camera in front of you obscuring your sight, right? Comes with a USB Type-C charging cable, warning and safety guide, and then also a user manual. Now, with this one, I'm gonna actually suggest that you do read the user manual because the device itself is actually quite complex. I'm gonna go through just some quick navigation with the device before I go back up on top and we talk about it. When you wanna turn your Sensis on for the first time, you're gonna actually press the fire button, which is nicely hidden in here with the screen, right? 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then as you can see, right, it's gonna show you your wattage. You've got a timer, like a puff timer, right? You've got the resistance of the coil that you've got installed in it. You've got a puff counter, and then you also have, well, in this F0 mode, you have a frequency that you can use your device with, right? So to just give you a quick overview of the different modes, I'm pressing the up and down button at the same time, and I'm brought to the menu options, right? And you've got F0, power, which is just gonna be regular wattage mode, like with any other mod that you might use. You've got Coil Plus, refresh, then it can move into settings. In the settings, it's gonna tell you it'll give you the option for a timeout, cutoff. It tells you what the device ID is, and you can reset the factory defaults as well. I'm going to go and show you this refresh option because this is what I think a lot of people are most interested in. So the function of the refresh mode is pretty simple. You can run it for a cycle, okay, and it'll automatically go through the cycle. Don't know if you heard that, but that only takes a couple seconds, okay? And then you can also manually hold this for an extended cycle. So you essentially just hold it as long as you want, and you can hear it moving. You can see little bits of juice and vapor popping up. It's almost as if it's cleaning it. It's sending some alternating current through the device, and that is theoretically loosening buildup on your coils, and it's going to allow you to vape your coils longer than you normally would. So pretty cool. Now if we go to the other modes, we've got Coil Plus, and this is a mode that's specifically set up for delivering more flavor, extending coil life. It's a simpler version of the F0 mode, okay? Moving along, you go to F0 mode. And it certainly seems like F0 mode is a Coil Plus mode, but you can fine-tune the hertz, the frequency, right, of the alternating current that goes through the device. So it goes all the way to 500 hertz. Now, Innokin is saying that you can just explore, and they're encouraging you to explore and play with different frequencies to find out what works best for you. It's a way of individualizing the F0 experience. At the 0.25 ohm S-coil, users are reporting that works best at around 25 hertz. And then the 0.65 coil that you find in the Scepter works best around 80 hertz. So just kind of remembering that, going on their Facebook group and seeing what other people are saying about that would definitely help you figure out what to do, how to navigate playing around with these frequencies and stuff. Googling it as well. You can also check out other YouTube videos with the Sensis and see if people are mentioning anything about the different hertz in the comment sections. I would definitely encourage you guys to do that on my comment section. If you have the device, tell us what works best when you're vaping it, right? Now, I originally, when I got this, decided to take a nasty old coil out of one of my Innokin Scepters, and I took a picture of it and I put it up on Instagram, and I ran that coil like crazy through the Coil Plus, or I'm sorry, the Coil Refresh mode, and I also vaped on it in both Coil Plus and F0 for a while. And this coil was absolutely nasty. It's this 1.2 ohm coil, and as you see, after about like 5 days or so, it's much cleaner. So I'm going to actually put it right here, and you can see that this is really quite interesting. I never would have thought that this was going to do that good of a job extending the life of this coil, keeping it nice. You can see that there is a good amount of condensation that comes out of these coils. That's mostly from the 0.25 coil. That's what I've been using the most. And then I do also want to mention here, this is the 510 adapter. It appears as if the coil refresh mode works on other coils. So you can actually see this pulse and fire up. Start to spit out. And realistically, I've noticed that it does work. It does seem that my vape tastes better and is smoother. That's the thing. It's more of a smooth vape when I use my FUPU tank on here, right? With the Innokin Sensis. It's a great mod as well as a great pod mod. All right, guys, back on top, and I'm gonna vape on it and give you my thoughts. I don't know if you can actually hear any of the pulsing that's going on, but this is at 30 watts with the 0.25 ohm coil at 25 hertz. Very good. The volume of the vapor is actually really quite nice. When the Sensis first came out, I was thinking this Find F marketing and the talk about this new vape technology that was extra customizable and more individual, right, was just hype, and that essentially they had found some kind of new gimmick. But I think there's something behind it. You know, I think there's some truth to the fact that these things can extend the life of coils, right? And part of the reason for that is I haven't had that great experience when it comes to using Innokin coils for a very long time at all. Usually my Innokin coils will die out in 3 or 4 days. And I think that that's somewhat common, but they're suggesting that by using Coil Plus mode or by using F0 mode, it can extend the life of the coils 25 to 50%. And that seems to be about accurate, right? Maybe even longer at this stage, because these coils can now last 5-6 days at a time. But with that said, where the technology actually convinces me that something's going on, right, is when I take a device like this and I put it into the 510 adapter, the FUPU drag tank, okay, the PMP tank, right? I'm at 10 watts, hertz are at 75, and here we go. I don't know how to explain this, but this coil, before I refreshed it, and I refreshed it 3 times, and I'm gonna do it again. I wasn't a huge fan of, you know, like it is what it is. It's just a VUPU coil that I purchased that, you know, the flavor didn't wow me or anything like that. So it just kind of sat like in the tank for a while, and it got all drippy. As you see, it's dripping and stuff like that. But the second I plugged this into the Innokin Sensis, and it tasted better. And not only does it taste better in the Innokin Sensis, it also tastes better in the Argus, which is what I was using to drag on it. So to me, if not only their pods with these glass tanks and the specific setup of them, right, taste better, right, but other companies' coils taste better when you use the Sensis, it tells me that this alternating current thing is a thing, right? It's legitimate and it's a valid technology. And I'm really excited about that because I could see all devices having these things. And what would that do? It would make it so all coils tend to last longer, right? Now, can you take a device like this, right, and clean your coils, your drag, or for your drag, or for your Argus, or whatever? Absolutely, you totally can. You could try and refresh coils that you already have by just putting them in these pods and refreshing them, right? That's pretty cool. And I think that that's a pretty awesome selling point that nobody's really talking about. The fact that not only can this extend Innokin coils, it could extend other companies' coils. And, you know, for me, I think that that's what makes something like this Innokin Sensis very, very desirable to own. If any of you guys are looking for not just another pod system, if you're looking for a mod, right, the Innokin Sensis might be an option. I know that I didn't necessarily get into all of the technical elements on the device. If you guys are interested in those things, we've got tons and tons of reviews. I kind of have a feeling that one of the reasons Innokin got a hold of me at this point is because I do different kinds of reviews and I focus on other things. If I were to try and explain how good of a device the Innokin Sensis is compared to other devices in the market, I think that I would say that it's easily as good of a mod, right, as any of the other pods in its class, like the Boost Pro, right, or the Drag or the Argus series, right? But it has this additional utility to it, and that utility of it could be something that makes sense to invest in at this point when things are uncertain as to the availability and ultimately the markup of coils. I think that Innokin released this at a perfect time, and I think it's worth picking up, even if you're just curious or if you just want something new to try. I think that it's absolutely a solid purchase. All right, guys, with that said, thank you very much. I've got a bunch of other reviews to get through, and you know, so keep an eye on the channel. Definitely sign up for notifications. It'll email you or give you a notification right from the app when I drop new videos. So, all right, thank you.